You know that feeling when your mind just won't switch off. It's like your internal alarm is just stuck on high alert, even when, well, everything's fine.
Mm.
That kind of constant readiness, like you're bracing for something.
Yeah, that hyper-alert state. It's really common.
Right. And we're often told to just, push through it, fight it off.
Or just ignore it, hope it goes away.
Exactly. But what if fighting it is actually the problem? What if there's a simpler way? Maybe even something counterintuitive.
Well, that's what's so interesting about our source today.
Okay, let's dive in then. We're looking at excerpts from Anxiety Reset, a 60-second survival guide.
Hmm.
And that title, 60 Second, it really jumps out. It promises something quick, something practical.
Right, immediate application.
So our mission here is to pull out the really actionable stuff, the surprising insights that can genuinely change how you deal with anxiety, like a shortcut to feeling more in control.
And it really does challenge the way we usually think about anxiety, doesn't it?
Oh.
Well, the core idea isn't about fixing a flaw, like anxiety is some kind of personal weakness. The source frames it differently. It says anxiety is basically your brain's old-school survival kit,
Okay.
just kind of stuck in overdrive, an overactive alarm system.
Okay. So it's not me being broken, it's a system doing its job. Just maybe a bit too enthusiastically.
Precisely. It takes away that layer of self-blame, It reframes it as a mechanism, not a character flaw.
That feels hugely different already, because I think we do internalize it, right? Like, I shouldn't feel this way.
Exactly, and that creates this awful cycle.
The source actually says anxiety isn't weakness, it's your brain's survival system stuck on overdrive. That phrase itself is quite powerful.
It really is. It externalizes it, almost.
Yeah, like you said, it's not a personal failing. It's more like a smoke detector that goes off when you burn toast.
Perfect analogy.
The detector isn't broken, it's just sensitive to something that isn't actually a house fire.
Right. And understanding that is key. Because if it's just an oversensitive alarm, then how we usually react, well, it might not be helping.
What do you mean, like trying to ignore it or push it down?
Yeah, exactly that. We try to suppress it, distract ourselves, fight it. We see it as this intruder.
Which feels like the natural thing to do. You feel bad, you want it to stop.
Totally understandable. But the source argues pretty strongly that this fight actually, it makes the anxiety stronger.
How? That seems backwards.
Think of trying to hold like a big beach ball underwater.
Okay. Yeah, it fights back. Hard.
Right. The harder you push, the more force it builds up.
Yeah.
And eventually it just bursts out, maybe even bigger than before. Fighting anxiety can be like that.
So my effort to control it is actually fueling it.
Wow. Okay, what's happening inside when we do that?
Well, when you're fighting that feeling, that internal struggle, your brain's alarm system, the primitive part, just doesn't see nuance. It just senses the struggle, the tension, the effort,
And
thinks,
Yep.
whoa, they're really fighting something. This must be serious. So my resistance confirms the danger signal for my own brain.
Exactly. It creates this vicious feedback loop. Your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight one, stays activated. More stress hormones like cortisol get released.
Making me feel even more anxious and reinforcing the need to fight.
Precisely. It's like a miscommunication where your attempt to fix things is read as proof that things are really bad.
Okay, that's a huge insight. Our own resistance is part of the problem. So if fighting is out, what's the alternative? What does the guide suggest?
This is where it gets really practical and kind of elegant in its simplicity. Instead of fighting, acknowledge it.
Just acknowledge it.
Not just passively, actively, consciously. The guide literally says to, quote, literally say, this is anxiety, not danger.
This is anxiety, not danger.
Okay.
It
so this
sounds
is-
simple, almost like a mindfulness cue.
It does, but it's very targeted.
How does just saying that phrase actually change what the brain is doing, especially when it feels like I am in danger?
Because you're providing new data, essentially. That primitive part of your brain, the amygdala, the alarm center, it's not rational. It just reacts to perceived threats.
Right. It triggers the racing heart, the shallow breath.
All that. So by consciously stating this is anxiety, not danger, you're sending a message directly to that system. You're saying, hey, these physical feelings, they're real, they're uncomfortable, but they're an internal misfire, not an external threat.
You're relabeling the experience in real time.
Exactly. It helps break that feedback loop. You're telling your survival system, thanks, but no thanks. False alarm.
Okay, I see. So it's not about pretending the feeling isn't there,
No, not at all.
but about changing the story I attach to it. Instead of, oh no, panic attack, catastrophe, it's, okay, body is doing the anxiety thing. It's unpleasant, but it's just anxiety, not actual danger right now.
You got it. That creates a little bit of space, doesn't it?
Yeah, distance. So you can observe it instead of being completely swallowed by it. It stops that immediate downward spiral.
Right. You shift from being the victim of the sensation to being more of an observer. It lets the more rational part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, come back online.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the source doesn't just leave you there with the mental reframing. It gives you a physical tool to use right alongside it.
Ah, the 60-second part.
Yes, it says slow your breath inhale and exhale twice as long.
Inhale, exhale twice as long.
And the promise is bold. In 60 seconds, you'll feel your nervous system reset, a physiological reset.
A reset in 60 seconds just from breathing differently. That sounds pretty amazing. What's the science there? Why the longer exhale?
It's fascinating, actually. That specific pattern, long exhale, directly stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system.
Okay, that's the opposite of fight or flight, right? The rest and digest system.
Exactly. It's the body's natural calming mechanism. Making the exhale longer sends a really powerful signal to your brain saying, it's safe now, you can relax.
How does it send the signal?
It activates the vagus nerve. That's a huge nerve connecting the brain to the body. And it's key for the parasympathetic response. It helps slow your heart rate, ease muscle tension.
Basically telling the brain the danger has passed or wasn't real to begin with.
Precisely. And the 60-second time frame is brilliant because it's long enough to work, but short enough that you can actually do it, even when you feel awful or you're under pressure.
Yeah, you don't need an hour-long meditation session.
Right. It's like hitting a quick reset button on your internal panic mode.
Okay, so it's a 1-2 punch. First, the mental relabel. This is anxiety, not danger. Then, the physical intervention. Slow breath, double-length exhale for about a minute.
Yes, you're changing the thought and the body's physical state.
And the source suggests that doing this regularly, like daily, has bigger benefits too. Beyond just stopping a panic moment, it mentions things like clearer thoughts, better sleep.
Absolutely. Consistency is where the real magic happens.
How does that work long-term?
Well, every time you do this, even for just a minute, you're training your nervous system.
Like building a muscle?
Kinda, yeah. You're strengthening the neural pathways for calm. Over time, your brain learns that anxiety signals don't always mean catastrophe. Your body learns to access that relaxed state more easily.
So your default setting starts to shift away from high alert.
Exactly. That's why you get clearer thoughts. Your thinking brain isn't being constantly hijacked by fear. Better sleep happens because your body isn't stuck in alert mode 24/7.
And the ability to stay calm under pressure. That comes from having a nervous system that's just more resilient, less likely to immediately jump to overdrive.
Precisely. You build a calmer internal baseline.
That sounds incredibly valuable, but what if someone tries it? Maybe they feel a bit silly talking to themselves or it doesn't instantly work. What then?
That's a really fair question, and totally normal. The source implies it's a practice, like any new skill.
It takes time.
It takes time and repetition. The first time you say this is anxiety, not danger, it might feel awkward. The anxiety might still be there.
Okay.
But you've started building that new pathway. Each time you do it, you reinforce it. And the beauty of the 60-second time frame is it's such a low bar for entry. Anyone can find 1 minute.
Right.
If it feels silly, acknowledge that too. Okay, this feels silly and I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
The goal isn't to eliminate feelings. It's to change your relationship with them.
That makes sense. It's about taking back some control, choosing a different response.
It's empowering yourself with a tool, and mastery comes with practice, not perfection.
So for you listening, what this really means is, well, it's about moving beyond just coping. The source talks about actually being able to beat anxiety. By taking these small, immediate steps, you're not just treating symptoms, you're addressing that root miscommunication in your brain and body. You get some agency back.
Yeah, and stepping back, looking at the bigger picture, the source is really offering a whole different way to relate to this experience.
A paradigm shift, almost.
I think so. Moving away from struggle and reaction towards understanding and, well, proactive management. Once you truly grasp that idea, anxiety is an overdriven survival system, you stop fighting yourself. You start working with your body, teaching it safety.
And that leads to that feeling of mastery.
But again, yeah, over something that often feels completely out of control. And that's where those tangible benefits come in the clearer thinking, the better sleep, staying calm when things get tough. It lets you function better, maybe even thrive.
Okay, so let's recap the core takeaways from Anxiety Reset. We've learned the crucial first step isn't fighting anxiety, but actually acknowledging it.
Right, specifically using that phrase, this is anxiety, not danger.
And then pairing that mental shift immediately with that very simple, very powerful physical tool.
The 60-second breathing, inhale normally, exhale for twice as long.
A direct reset for the nervous system, possible in under a minute. It's not just a mind trick, it's physiological.
And remembering the why behind it matters too. Understanding anxiety is that overdriven survival system, not a personal failing, really unlocks this different approach.
Definitely.
It moves you past just coping towards really addressing the root issue. And the payoff, as the source highlights, is significant. Clearer thoughts, better sleep, staying composed under pressure. It really frames it as a way to genuinely beat anxiety.
It's quite profound, really. So here's something to think about. If just 60 seconds, just 1 minute of focused, intentional action can make such a difference with something as big and pervasive as anxiety, what other challenges in our lives, things that feel overwhelming right now, might also be, well, reframable? What other complex issues might have simple, practical tools we just haven't thought of yet?
That's a great question to ponder.
Something to think about until our next deep dive.